Now, let me say to you, before I go any further at all, there isn't any one of you here that can't write a humorous speech. You say, well, how do you know that? I know you can. Because you come with experiences here. You have a manual that you can use, and between now and then, you will have given a few speeches from that manual. And by the way, if you give a speech that you think is particularly good for the contest, you can take it, rework it, and use it for the contest. And the major part of humorous speech writing is, believe it or not, collecting materials. And Reader's Digest, if you're talking about finding humor, Reader's Digest has humor in it. And about once every 3 years, they put out an edition that's maybe has 50 greatest jokes. This happened to be one from 2008, and it has on the front, laugh. And it is delightful. My wife hid it when I found it. She said, I've heard those jokes enough. And I said, well, I'm just practicing. She said, why don't you go practice some other place? But seriously, if you collect enough of them, you can build, and then when your Toastmaster does what she just did a little while ago, you have it. I didn't take time to bring any tonight. I've got a folder full of them. But also, what you can do, and this is really significant, if you can keep your ear to the ground for things that are happening with your children, if you have children, or nieces and nephews, if you don't have any of your own, humorous jokes have to have an opening, a body, and a podium. They can't be a series of one-liners. So you do have to have a theme. It has to have a thematic approach. But you can do that if it were a picnic, if it were a car, you spoke of a car, if it were a farm, an incident at a farm, or if it's something that you had when you had your family picnic. Any one of these make a humorous speech, particularly when it's something that you've experienced. And remember, when you speak, how many people do you know that do not write jokes? I don't know, maybe you know many. I don't know very many. As long as they don't insult someone, or they're not anti-sexual, or they're not, if they're clean jokes that you can tell in a mixed group, most people like a good laugh. And consequently, you can do it, and what you do is take that little stack of jokes and other things that you've heard, and even from TV. I don't watch much TV, and my wife says if I watch more, I'd have better jokes. So, and she does watch, so she would know better than I, since I don't do much TV. And the radio doesn't have a tremendous amount of jokes on it. But you can do it. And the reason I wanted you to see this is that you've got a copy of it, and on the back of the sheet, you see the criteria that the judges will use when they're judging. And as Mary Jean pointed out, this form is so much better to use if you put all of the contestants on one form. Then you can fold it over. You put the first one here, and then you fold it over, put the next one, the next one. And that way, you're not, the first person's not affecting everything that you judge. So, and when you get to the point of coming to the table topics, I'm not going to spend much time on table topics. Let me tell you why. We don't have table topics, and when we have a contest, it's almost the same as we have in a meeting. It doesn't change much, except that the topic that the Toastmaster hands is the same one that all of us have. So if Mary Ann were the first one, she would speak first, and then Carla and Andy and Rusty would be out because we're all speaking on the same table topics. And that's the way the contest goes. A minute, from 1 to 2.5 minutes, and we can talk about the timing later. So that you could do a table topics contest right now. So I'm excited about it. You can see why. Each one of you can do it. And I can hardly wait. And let me say, if we don't have enough people to do timers and counters, we can go, if we start early enough, and borrow from other clubs to help us.